How you doing, good people? This is the 8-Bit Animal, and today we're going to talk about Data East's biggest selling title on the NES. Strangely enough, it was originally released in Japan by Irem, the same Irem that gave us my favorite NES game, Metal Storm. Now, Irem has a license to publish games on the NES, so this was an interesting decision by them to pass this game along to Data East. But it worked out for Data East, and we got a decent, at the time, side-scrolling action game out of the deal. It's, your standard fare, damsel in distress, rescued damsel, blah blah blah, all that stuff. And like I said, for what we got, it wasn't bad. It was an easy little 15-20 minute straight through game type situation. Today, we'll be discussing Kid Niki Radical Ninja. Now, you play as Kid Niki, a top student at the ninja school, who catches a bird that's been shot by an arrow that's carrying a note telling you that the Stone Wizard has kidnapped Princess Margot. Kid Niki jumps through a wall of the ninja school and sets out to rescue Princess Margot. What follows is about 7-8 levels, pretty standard fare, something like that. It's really like the most regular, generic, standard side-scrolling action platformer. Like, everything in this game has been done before. That doesn't mean this isn't a fun game. It just means that this has been done before. And it's easily the best thing done by this developer, Tosei. The same Tosei that did any number of generic action games, particularly we talked about Dragon Power a couple of days ago. Tosei developed that. Tosei and Micronix and companies like that, they were responsible for a lot of contract work on the NES in the early days for third parties, and a lot of those games were painfully mediocre, if not downright bad. But they stayed in business making those games, and sometimes they got it right. This is an example of Tosei getting it right. Interestingly enough, the arcade version of this game runs on the same board as Irem's Kung Fu Master. Yeah, Kung Fu on the black box game, that was a port of Kung Fu Master from Irem. Now, as you proceed through this game, you fight a number of bosses like Death Breath and the Stone Witch and the Green Grub, stuff like that. Eventually, at the very end of the game, you get to the Stone Wizard. You fight the Stone Wizard not once but twice. After the first boss fight, then you chase the Stone Wizard down on rooftops. The ending cutscene is actually pretty well animated. I will say it's kind of dark, but it's dark in a very NES fashion. Like, it's not painfully grotesque or anything, but the way your character hits, the way the enemy takes their tumble, yeah, it's interesting. It looks pretty cool, actually, graphically. But yeah, all that aside, Like I said before, Kid Niki is a standard action platformer. Nothing painfully bad about it. It's a good game. The problem is that there are so many other games that fill this slot. Most notably, the Super Mario trilogy, the Mega Man games, stuff like that. There were a lot of games that functioned just like this one, that did it a little bit or a lot better than this one. But this ain't a bad game. If you're curious and you want to pick up a copy, physicals go for anywhere between $5 and $20. You could get a complete copy for $50 if you're lucky. Seen a copy go for that cheap. Either way, this ain't a bad thing to have in your collection, but it's not a groundbreaking game. It's pretty run of the mill, regular video game. This has been the 8-Bit Animal, and I'll catch you beautiful people tomorrow. Tomorrow. This game is like Hunt for Red October, but it's not Hunt for Red October because there's no red in the label. And okay, bruh, I'm not even gonna play. It's Silent Service.